The cameras are already rolling when Jackie Chan raises his hand. Not dramatically, not urgently, just enough. The director doesn't see it at first. The scene continues for 2 more seconds. Bodies moving, choreography clean, dialogue sharp. Then Jackie steps out of frame. That's when everything stops. Hong Kong, late 1990s. This is a large production day. A real one. Multiple trucks outside. Crew everywhere. Schedules stacked tight enough that every minute costs money. The kind of set where momentum matters more than comfort. They're filming an interior scene. Not a stunt-heavy sequence. Just dialogue and movement. Easy by Jackie's standards. Everyone expects him to power through. He always does. But today he doesn't. Jackie walks past the camera, past the lighting rig, and toward the edge of the set where most people aren't looking. Someone mutters, "Cut?" Uncertain. The director finally raises his voice. "Jackie." Jackie doesn't answer right away. He's focused on someone else. Near the far wall, partially hidden behind stacked equipment cases, stands a young man in a production vest. Not an actor. Not a crew lead. Just an extra. A day hire. Someone brought in to fill space and stay quiet. Jackie saw him earlier. Most people didn't. The young man's hands are shaking. Not from cold. From something deeper. He's trying to steady his breathing. Eyes fixed on the floor. Jaw clenched tight like he's holding something in by force. Jackie approaches him calmly. Not drawing attention. Not calling him out. He lowers his voice. "Are you okay?" Jackie asks. The man shakes his head. "Barely." The director walks over now, irritated. "What's going on?" he asks, glancing at his watch. Jackie turns to him. "He needs a moment," Jackie says. The director blinks. "We're rolling," he says. "We can't." Jackie holds up a hand. "Just once." Not confrontational. Final. The director stops talking. Everyone notices. The set goes quiet. Not awkward quiet. Curious quiet. Crew members look at each other. Someone lowers a boom mic. A grip leans on a cart. Jackie turns back to the young man. "What's your name?" he asks. "Daniel," the man says quietly. His voice cracks. Jackie nods. "Daniel," he says, "come sit." He gestures to a nearby crate. Daniel hesitates. Extras aren't supposed to do that. Jackie sits first. That solves it. Daniel sits. His breathing is shallow now. Fussed. Jackie recognizes it instantly. He's seen this before. Not on film sets. In hospitals. In back rooms. In places where people think they're alone with their breaking point. "Breathe with me," Jackie says softly. He inhales slowly. Exhales slower. Daniel tries to match him. It doesn't work at first. Jackie doesn't rush him. No one speaks. After a minute, Daniel's shoulders drop slightly. Not calm, but less trapped. Jackie keeps his voice low. "What happened?" he asks. Daniel swallows. "My mother," he says. "She's sick. I got the call this morning. I shouldn't have come today, but I needed the money." Jackie nods. He doesn't interrupt. Daniel continues. "They said she might not make it through the night." Silence spreads again. Different now. Heavier. Jackie doesn't say, "I'm sorry." He's never liked how empty that sounds in moments like this. Instead he asks, "Where is she?" "Across the city," Daniel says. "Hospital." Jackie nods again. He looks up and catches the director's eye. "We're stopping for a few minutes," Jackie says. The director opens his mouth. Closes it. Nods. Jackie stands. "So," he says to Daniel, "you should go." Daniel freezes. "I can't," he says. "They'll replace me. I won't get paid." Jackie shakes his head. "You'll get paid," he says. "And you'll go now." Daniel looks confused. Jackie turns to the production manager. "Pay him for the full day," Jackie says. "And get him a car." The manager hesitates. Jackie looks at him. The hesitation disappears. A crew member calls for a car. Someone else brings Daniel water. The set remains paused. Not one person complains. Not one person checks their watch loudly. Something unspoken has taken hold. Before Daniel leaves, Jackie stops him. He reaches into his pocket and writes something on a small piece of paper. He hands it to Daniel. My number, Jackie says. Call me tonight. Or tomorrow. Anytime. Daniel stares at it like it isn't real. Why? He asks. Jackie smiles gently. Because you're not alone, he says. Daniel leaves. The car pulls away. The set remains quiet for a moment longer. Then Jackie turns back toward the director. Ready, he says, and walks back into position. The scene resumes. But something is different. The energy has shifted. Actors speak their lines with more presence. Crew members move with a little more care. No one says it out loud, but everyone feels it. They didn't just watch a star-stop production. They watched a human being notice someone invisible. That night, Jackie receives a call. Daniel. His voice is steadier now. She's still alive, he says. They stabilized her. Jackie exhales. Good, he says. They talk briefly. Nothing dramatic. Just reassurance. Just presence. Days pass. Filming continues. The moment fades from daily conversation but not from memory. Crew members bring it up quietly at lunch. Someone tells a friend. Someone else remembers it when they're having a bad day. It becomes one of those stories that doesn't get written down, but gets carried. Weeks later, Jackie receives another call. Daniel again. My mother passed, he says. But thank you for letting me be there. Jackie listens, then says, you did the right thing. Months later, the film wraps. People move on. Projects end. Life continues. But Jackie doesn't forget. He keeps Daniel's number. Sometimes he checks in. Sometimes Daniel checks in. Nothing formal. Nothing public. What Jackie doesn't know yet is what that interruption will grow into. How one paused scene will ripple outward. How a small decision will reshape someone else's life. And how, years later, people will still talk about the day Jackie Chan stopped to film, not for a stunt, but for a stranger. The weeks after the film wraps pass quietly. No headlines mention the pause on set. No interviews bring it up. No one posts about it. Life moves forward the way it always does, unevenly, imperfectly. For Daniel, it moves slower. After his mother's funeral, Daniel doesn't return to the film industry right away. The noise feels wrong now. The pace. The pretending that nothing matters outside the frame. He takes a job unloading shipments at a warehouse near the port. It pays less, but it's quiet. Honest. Some nights he still replays that day on set. Not the call from the hospital. The moment Jackie sat down beside him. The way no one rushed him. The way the world paused long enough for him to breathe. That's the part he can't forget. One evening, months later, Daniel gets another call. Jackie. No urgency in his voice. Just checking in. They talk about nothing important. Weather. Work. Sleep. The kind of conversation that reminds you someone remembers you exist. Before hanging up, Jackie asks, what do you want to do now? Daniel doesn't answer right away. I don't know, he admits. I used to think I wanted to be around movies. Now I'm not sure. Jackie hums softly. That's okay, he says. Not knowing is honest. Jackie doesn't offer advice. He doesn't suggest a path. He simply says, if you want to learn something new, tell me, and leaves it there. Meanwhile, on film sets Jackie moves through. Something subtle has changed. Crew members notice it before they understand it. He still works hard. Still jokes between takes. Still pushes for precision. But people speak up more around him now. Agrippe monsieur fatigue. A PA admits they're overwhelmed. A junior stunt performer asks for clarification instead of pretending confidence. No one connects it directly to that day, but the permission lingers. Months later, Jackie starts a small initiative without announcing it. He asks production managers to keep a short buffer in the schedule. Not for reshoots or delays, but for people. Emergencies. Human moments. It doesn't have to be written, he says. Just possible. Some productions resist. Others quietly adopt it. Those sets feel different. Calmer. More focused. Daniel eventually calls Jackie back. I think I want to learn, he says. But not acting. Jackie smiles. Good, he says. Most people don't. Daniel laughs. Jackie connects him with someone. Not a famous mentor. Not a shortcut. Just a coordinator who teaches logistics, planning, problem solving. the invisible structure behind every set. Daniel starts at the bottom again. And stays. Years pass. Daniel becomes dependable. Not flashy. Not loud. The kind of person people trust with complicated days. He remembers names. Notices when someone's struggling. Carries extra water. Makes quiet adjustments that prevent chaos before it starts. He never tells anyone why. He doesn't need to. One afternoon years later, Daniel runs into Jackie again on a different production. They stand near the edge of the set watching a scene reset. Jackie looks older now. Quieter. Still observant. Daniel thanks him again. Jackie shakes his head. I didn't do anything, he says. Daniel smiles. You stopped, he says. That was everything. Jackie thinks about that for a long moment, then nods. The story of that day continues to travel, not as legend but as example. A young assistant hears it from a lighting tech. A coordinator tells it to a new hire during a tough shoot. The details blur. The point doesn't. Jackie Chan stopped filming. Not for a stunt. Not for himself. For someone no one was watching. Years later, Jackie is asked in an interview about leadership. The interviewer expects answers about discipline and excellence. Jackie says something else. Leadership, he says, is noticing. The interviewer doesn't follow up. The moment passes, but people who've worked with him understand exactly what he meant. Daniel eventually supervises his own teams. He never raises his voice. He never demands loyalty. But when something feels wrong, he pauses things. Even when it costs time. Even when it's uncomfortable. Especially then. One day, a young worker on his crew freezes up mid-shift. Same shaking hands. Same shallow breathing. Same look of someone trying not to fall apart in public. Daniel recognizes it instantly. He stops the work. Sits down. Breathe. The cycle continues. Jackie Chan never set out to make a point that day. He didn't want recognition. He didn't expect a ripple. He simply refused to ignore what mattered more than the schedule. And in doing so, he reminded everyone watching, quietly, unmistakably, that greatness isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just the courage to stop. Years from now, no one will remember which scene they were filming. They won't remember the dialogue. They won't remember the take number. But they'll remember the pause. The stillness. The moment a man who could have kept going chose not to. Jackie Chan didn't change the industry that day. He changed a few people. And that was enough. Because the strongest legacy isn't built through spectacle. It's built through moments where someone mattered, and was treated that way. And all it took was stopping the scene.